Hello, I'm Stephen Fox. I'm a bankruptcy attorney. I do Chapter 11 business reorganization. I represent companies that are failing and I help them succeed. I also represent creditors who are looking to protect their interests in Chapter 11. I do this work throughout the United States of America, though my offices are located in California. I only recommend bankruptcy when it is the best solution. I have a personal prejudice. I happen to believe that one of the greatest inventions that the United States of America has ever created is our system of Chapter 11 business reorganization. Where else can a company that has failed or is the walking dead go and get legal protection, have a safe harbor where it can try out all sorts of different ideas to make the business succeed, where it can survive and then thrive and grow, and then propose a plan to pay creditors over a period of time at a rate that the company can afford to pay. No other system of bankruptcy is anywhere near as good as ours. I want to talk to you today about red flags for a business on the road to bankruptcy. It was a wonderful company. It was family owned. It was all American, mom and dad, and some of the adult children. They'd built the company up to the point where it had a manufacturing facility, and down the road, it had a office building, a couple-story office building where the administrative work was done. They manufactured sizable machinery. Each piece would sell for in the millions of dollars. They had a good reputation. Their product was a good product. However, the day came that the owners decided that they were going to grow the company. They wanted the company to be larger, and there's nothing wrong with that. Companies grow all the time. However, you can grow a company organically from inside using your own resources, which generally means a slower growth, or you can go out and borrow money or bring in money from outside. So the owners decided that they were going to borrow money from a bank. They borrowed many, many millions of dollars from the bank. And the bank insisted, and properly so, that it be a secured creditor. The bank took security interests in the inventory of the company, the receivables, the machinery and equipment, the goodwill, the books, the records, you name it, all the way down to the pens and pencils. It took a security interest in everything. So now the company has many millions of dollars in the bank. It goes out to try to get more business, but it finds out that although other companies value this debtor company's product, its machinery, there isn't as much demand for the machinery as the owners had thought. They couldn't get the sales they wanted, but they had ramped up. They had entered into new contracts and new agreements with new vendors. They did have some more orders for their products, not many. They had brought in more employees. They had a lot more expenses. And they had something else that was really, really terrible. They had to pay the bank back, and they were running out of money. And you might ask, how can they be running out of many millions of dollars? Well, they didn't exactly use the money to grow all the way. They used it in part to grow. But the owners wanted to get some distributions for themselves, and they wanted to reward some employees, and they wanted to add in some expenses that were very comfortable for the owners, but didn't help the company grow. And so a lot of the money from the loan got frittered away in non-growth activity. That was bad. So what happens? They have to make the bank payments, because if they don't, the bank's going to foreclose and take away everything in the business. So the owners decide the company is going to take out a classic new loan called the payroll tax loan. By that, I mean they're not going to pay the payroll taxes to the state or to the feds. Bad move. They decided they were going to slow pay creditors. Another bad move. They decided they were going to fire employees who weren't necessary. Bad move, especially because the owners really didn't know who their key employees were. And so they fired employees who had key institutional knowledge of how the business worked and why. They cut other expenses, but because they didn't understand, as do very few people, how to properly cut expenses, they cut not only fat, they cut bone, and they really hurt the company. So we're now at the point where the problems are getting larger and larger. Creditors are getting worried because they aren't being paid on time. They're being stretched out. Employees are worried because things are going wrong and they know it. The bank is getting worried, but the bank doesn't really know what's going on. So what do the owners do? They take truth, they take trust, and they take goodwill, and they throw them out the window. They lie to the employees, to the creditors, they lied to the bank, they lied to their customers. When you throw out all of those, that is very devastating to a business. They lost their trust, and not only did they lose trust, they failed an important step whenever a company is failing. They failed to maintain a war chest, money that can be used to help save the company. They didn't have personal monies. They didn't save monies in the company either. This company came to me, and we worked on a Chapter 11 together. But more importantly, we worked on a reorganization together. We worked on mistakes that they had made, and we tried to fix them, and we went and we tried our best to get goodwill and truth back with customers, with vendors, with the bank, with the employees, and it was an awful lot of hard work. I want to credit the owners of the company. They understood what their mistakes were, and they were willing to do the hard work as part of a team to make the company work properly again and to gain the trust back from employees, from customers, from creditors, from vendors. When do you call me? You call me when your company is anywhere at all in the story I just told you. What makes me different from most other Chapter 11 attorneys is that I believe that the underlying problems of the company have to be fixed before you can have a successful plan of reorganization. Most other bankruptcy attorneys believe that if you have a confirmed or approved Chapter 11 plan, you have a successful Chapter 11. The problem with that is you can have the best plan that the judge can bless, but if the company is a failure, so is your plan. So if you think your company might need a bankruptcy, I want you to do something. Pick up the phone and call me. Let's talk. Email me. I have more than 30 years experience representing both debtors and creditors in business Chapter 11 cases. The next video is a fun one. I'm going to walk through some of the things that I did with some of my companies during COVID-19 to help them succeed during one of the most difficult times in recent years for any business. Take care.